Have you ever wondered what the single biggest obstacle is to real, lasting recovery from addiction? Well, we're going to get right into it, because the answer, it's probably not what you'd expect. We're going to be digging into a really powerful, evidence-based idea that comes out of the Stanford Forgiveness Project, and honestly, it could completely change the way you look at healing.
So, what is this number one offender? This hidden enemy? We're always told it's about willpower, right? Or just avoiding triggers. But it turns out the biggest force that can derail a recovery journey is actually an emotion. It's like this quiet poison that keeps us totally chained to our past. And there it is, right there in the big book from Alcoholics Anonymous. The single biggest destroyer of sobriety is resentment. Think about that for a second. It's not the substance itself, it's not even the cravings, it's this toxic emotion that so many of us carry around without even realizing how heavy it is. So what is resentment really? Let's break it down in simple terms. At its core, it's when you get stuck in this endless mental argument with something that already happened. And at the same time, you're blaming somebody else for how you feel right now. You're basically anchored to the past, and you just can't move forward. Wow. This quote from Elizabeth Gilbert, it just hits you, doesn't it? It frames resentment perfectly. This isn't just a bad mood we're talking about. It's something that fundamentally corrodes our well-being. It's literally a poison that we choose to drink, puff by puff, and it only ends up damaging ourselves. Okay, so if resentment is the poison, it stands to reason that forgiveness is the antidote. But hold on, because as soon as you hear that word forgiveness, I know our brains just put up these huge walls. It comes with so much baggage, so much misunderstanding. So before we even talk about what forgiveness is, let's get crystal clear on what it is not. This is so important to get. Forgiveness is not about saying, hey, what you did was okay. It's not about getting amnesia and forgetting what happened. It is definitely not about excusing someone's terrible behavior or being forced to be friends with them again. And it is absolutely not about just bottling up your feelings and pretending you're fine. We have to clear these myths out of the way first. So what if we looked at it a completely different way? What if forgiveness is actually an act of personal power? It's about shifting the focus off the person who hurt you and putting it right back on yourself. It's you declaring, you know what? I can't control the past, but I am 100% in control of my emotional state today. It's about taking your power back. So how does resentment actually keep its grip on us? Well, it does it through something the Stanford Forgiveness Project calls a grievance story. This is the mental movie we play on a loop in our heads. It's the narrative that fuels our anger and keeps us locked in the role of the victim. Now, what's so fascinating is just how simple this process is. Look at these 3 steps. First, something bad happens. Could be big, could be small. Second, we internalize it. We make it all about us. And third, and this is the key, we hand over the responsibility for our feelings to someone else. It's a 3-step trap that's so easy to fall into. And this quote from Don Miguel Ruiz, man, it just completely nails that second step. So often, we think someone's actions are this direct, personal attack on us. But the truth is, most of the time, people are just acting out of their own stuff, their own pain, their own worldview. Realizing it's not about you, that is incredibly freeing. This visual just captures that feeling perfectly, doesn't it? When you're holding on to a grievance story, it's like you're in a canoe, trying to paddle forward, but you've got another oar stuck in the water paddling backward. You're using up a massive amount of energy, but you're not going anywhere. You're just stuck, churning the same water over and over again. So, this is a question I want you to just sit with for a moment. Is there a story you tell yourself, a past hurt, that is defining your present and holding you hostage from the future you actually want? Okay, so how do we break free? How do we stop paddling in circles and actually start moving forward? It all begins with a really simple, but honestly profound shift in our thinking. It's about learning how to make peace with the word no. You know, life is just full of no's. You didn't get the job you wanted, the relationship ended, something deeply unfair happened to you. We can't avoid these moments. Forgiveness isn't about arguing with that reality. It's the skill of accepting the no that you were given so you can finally move on. This says it all, right? You cannot change what happened. Arguing with the past is a fight you are going to lose 100% of the time. Forgiveness is just about dropping the rope in that tug of war. It's about turning your attention to the present, because that you can change. And this brings us to the most empowering part of this whole idea. Because when you let go of that grievance story, you get to become the author of a new story. You get to write your own final chapter.
Just look at the direct contrast here. On one side, you've got the victim story. It's passive, it's stuck, it's powerless, it's all about what was done to you. But then look at the hero column, it's all action. Taking responsibility, creating the future, rewriting the story. This isn't about pretending you weren't hurt, it's about taking charge of your own healing. And that is the incredible shift that forgiveness makes possible.
So really, it all comes down to a role change. You fire yourself from the job of being the victim of your history, and you hire yourself as the hero of your life story, starting right now. This is the ultimate act of self-empowerment. It is the bedrock of a solid recovery.
I want to leave you with this one powerful thought. We often think forgiveness is some kind of gift we give to the person who wronged us. But as all this research shows, it's almost never about them. It's about unlocking our own cage. So the final question is pretty simple. Are you ready to find the key?